Welcome back, everyone. This is Liz from Knowledge Return. Remember, this is a space where we talk about energy and spirituality as a part of our normal everyday experience. This is a space where I share stories, anecdotes, and messages about spiritual journey, awakening, and how our lives relate and are broken down into energy and spiritual significance. So over the years, and especially now, as I'm going through and continue to go through a spiritual awakening process, I've encountered many people who are interested in talking about spiritual gifts, or as they may see it, spiritual curse. When I was younger, I didn't have the words or language for it. As someone who has experienced these gifts, I've just experienced them without really knowing how and why I had them. For me, it was just a part of my life, like any other sense or limb on my body that served a purpose for me. So I didn't treat it as a curse or a gift, although people around me treated me like a curse. However, I do know that there are people who do treat their spiritual experience like a curse. And because they treated it like a curse, they ran from it and denied it in order to live in a blissful state of unconsciousness. Now, as people, we like to say that we're all created equal. However, over the years, I've come to amend that thought. We may all be created in an image. However, our designs are very different. Each and every one of us is unique. Just like we can say every snowflake falling from the sky is unique, we can say the same with humans. Yes, we are human. And that's how we can be collectively grouped. However, just like a snowflake, we are unique, not only in our physical design, but in our spiritual design. We are unique in our experience, and we are unique in our soul purpose. We are unique in our innate abilities, and we are unique in how we express them. I say all of this to say that some of us are here during this space and time for a reason. Regardless if we've forgotten that reason, our soul and the universe remembers. Some of us are very powerful spiritual beings, ascended masters, star seeds, and other energetic beings with a purpose during this time. In order for us to live in our purpose with our unique design and skill, we have to slow down, wake up, and remember. Like it or not, and depending on who you are at a spiritual level, the universe has a way to kickstart and shake you into consciousness and slow you down so that you can reconnect with your spiritual self. Recently, I had a conversation with someone who I know has a spiritual gift. They were able to see and hear energy that has passed on. Yes, the I see dead people type. They were shamed and later made to fear this information and therefore rejected it later in life. As they got older, they could no longer see, feel, or hear energy as they used to. And they were just fine with that. In interacting with this person, I knew they were still a gifted spiritual person. They were also that high-driven type of person who just seemed to succeed at the many things that they pursued. They, in their mind, were living their dream. Although there was an area of their life that they did have trouble in. And that dealt around having children. And as I connected with this person to the point that I could receive specific messages for them, The overall tone of the message that I was given for them was to slow down and reconnect. A couple of months after giving this person this message for their spirit, they did have a situation, a negative traumatic situation that dealt with a child, or trying to have one, I should say. Fortunately, they had a therapist to help them work through that type of trauma. But I think deep down inside, they still knew that there was something else that they had to admit to, that they were running from. And so they called me. Again, I'm not a certified therapist or counselor. However, I am someone who has experienced spiritual abilities all of my life. So after calming this person down and reassuring them, I realized that as we were having our conversations, it sounded familiar to other conversations that I've had with other people who questioned their spiritual abilities in a similar manner. In her case, she admitted she was running from her spiritual gifts. And in others, there was just a sense of fear and what it meant to use and experience these abilities. So as I started listening to the conversation and then just thinking about other similar conversations, I realized that a lot of what we see on TV and experience in our society has impacted us to the point we are made to fear or be ashamed of our spiritual experiences. We are taught to think that we are not spiritual beings. And if we do, we must be crazy. We are taught to believe that experiencing energy in its many forms is not natural. For the record, I'm purposely reframing seeing, hearing, and knowing about unseen things as energy because that is what it is. We are energy. Everything around us is energy. What we see, hear, smell, touch is energy. So why is it so unbelievable that some of us experience these energies and frequencies while others may not? Because we are not all designed the same way. We are all unique. For example, my spiritual experience has been to hear the inner guidance, to know without experiencing, to smell scents of people who have passed, and to dream of things to come. However, I do not see the energy of people who have passed. So, in my conversations, I've realized that people were running away from the indoctrinated fear of experiencing the full capacity of who they uniquely are. They were running and chasing so many things for so many reasons. And in this case, this person was running from themselves. They were running from their spiritual self. And the thing about that, yourself is always there with you, so you'll never outrun yourself. So for special, unique people, the universe has a way to make you slow down and reflect. It was probably like, we can do it the easy way or we can do it the hard way. But sometimes we truly have to acknowledge what is happening when we go through something traumatic. We sometimes have to sit back and reflect. And we have to slow down. So you have to make a choice. You can willingly take the time to slow down, do self-reflection, heal, and remember. or you can wait until the universe shakes you out of unconsciousness. Just so you know, if you've chosen the latter, as many often do, that you have the courage, you have the strength, and you have the resilience and love to get through it. So slow down, self-reflect, reconnect with your inner self, heal the trauma, your shadow, and remember why you are here. In most cases, it's just about doing the work of healing your mind, body, and soul. It's about becoming the vessel to hold love, light, energy. It's about living your life as a balanced human being. It's about releasing fears, insecurities, anger, and any other low vibrational energy that prevent you from being a better version of yourself. It's about healing so you know how to protect your energy, establish boundaries, love yourself, forgive yourself, and be compassionate and empathetic at the same time for not only yourself, but others around you. It's about relearning what peace, calm, balance, and harmony means within yourself and outside of yourself. It's about remembering the spiritual gifts you have. It's about remembering the reasons the spiritual gifts and abilities were designed specifically for you and knowing how to use them in the way that benefits you, your higher self, and your higher path. So stop running from yourself. Sit down and embrace all that is you. Every unique quality, ability, and trait. Know that you are loved so much. So love yourself more than you can love anyone else. And love yourself more than anyone can love you. You are all you need because the universe has your back. Everything else is just icing on the cake.